I can see my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is your match review live show this evening to an absolute cup classic. Of course, last night, fantastic. What a game, guys. I mean, come on now. This is what the cup's all about. And we did, of course, beat Leicester City of the Championship. We did cause an upset. And look, what a night it was. We're going to get into it all this evening as always. But look, I just think we showed so much hard work, passion, fight, togetherness, unity. A performance. The result was last night. I would have been proud, lads, for sure, because they put in a fantastic performance, no doubt about it. So yes, please make sure you do smash the likes before we start. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment your thoughts throughout tonight's live show. Or if you're watching it on playback, feel free to put your comments in the comments section as well. That's fine by me. But look, I am joined by a special guest this evening. He's making his debut on the channel, and it is great to welcome him onto the show for the very first time. Of course, Jack is joining us right now, live and direct.
Hello everybody, how are we doing?
Good to have you on there. I hope you're doing well.
Thanks,
and of course, I'm still feeding off adrenaline today after last night, to be fair. It's unbelievable. Oh my gosh, why does the phone keep falling down, guys? I mean, we are live, so we are obviously right. Right, here we are. Let's get to the comments before we do get going, guys. George is in the building. He says, big up, Ryan. Big up, George. How are you doing? Did you go to the game last night, George? What did you make of it all? I mean, yeah, it was just amazing to be at the stadium for that game. It was just one of the best games I've been at for a good while. To fair, the drama and everything of it. It was just unbelievable. Charlie's in the building. He says, evening, Ryan, what a win yesterday. Yes, big up. It was a fantastic win, wasn't it? Really, really good. We're going to get into it all very, very soon. Michael's in the building as well. He says, evening, Ryan, hope you're okay. Yes, I'm doing fine, thank you. Hope you're well too, Michael, and big up for tuning in. And last but not least, I'm going to have to put my phone down. I just can't keep doing this all. It just keeps... Right, Aiden's in the building, of course. My wonderful mod, a real one, been here since day one, guys, of the channel. He says, hi, mate, hope you're okay. Make sure to smash the likes. Yes, big up. Thank you so much. And subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to vote. Yeah, I actually forgot to mention, Aiden, you're ahead of the game. Yes, if you can go and vote for me, I'll put the link in the description to vote for me at the Football Content Awards. It would really mean a lot to me. We've only got a few days left. Obviously, Sunday is the closure of the nominations. So yes, final few days. And big up, thank you so much for that, Aiden. What a win yesterday, the mentality of the team, everything about it last night was positive. Yeah, no, it was just an enjoyable. It was just enjoyable. It was just unbelievable, wasn't it? George says, big up, Jack.
Big up to you, George.
And he didn't go to the game apparently, but what a game! Fair enough, fair enough. You missed a classic game, man. I mean, yeah. But anyway, I'm sure you watched it on the television. Ains is leaving the stadium with a smile on my face. What a feeling! you could just sense that buzz, couldn't you, walking away from that stadium as well? It was just unbelievable feeling. And he also says, "Hello, Jack. Hope you're well, pal." Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we're all very happy today.
Oh, definitely.
After last night, for sure. But look, we're gonna get into it now then. So, of course, let's have a look at the team lineup and then share our observations of it. Yeah, you see, I'm still getting used to this restream malarkey, guys. I just can't adjust myself. Being from streaming out to this, it's just too difficult, man, at the moment. I think it's because I'm thinking about it too much. Like, let me get this comment off now, because right, here we are then. So, just a quick rundown. Obviously, a very heavily rotated starting lineup last night, wasn't it? Obviously, League Rank making 9 changes to this starting lineup from the league match. The win against Reading, of course. Nichols made his first start, as expected, in goal. Backline of Feeney, Wallace, Brown, and Gooch. Obviously, Wallace getting his second debut for the club, obviously, after his return. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting lineup. What was your thoughts on the lineup, mate? Obviously, we expected it to be heavily rotated, but it was nice to see the likes of the youngsters getting a chance, like your Ashes and your Voss. And I didn't expect Voss to start, did you? That was a surprise.
No. I'd thought Cameron O'Shea'd start after his wonder of a goal against Reading, but Voss, I was surprised, but it played all right, but we'll get into that shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was a lineup that we expected, wasn't it? You know, very heavily rotated, and it just showed the depth. It shows the depth we've got in our squad. I know a few first team players start, but it shows the depth that we've got in our squad now. To be fair, still a very strong squad. Yeah, we've done that one, and yes, I did enjoy my late ice cream last night. Indeed. I don't know why I was sat having an ice cream at midnight last night, but anyway, there we are. Anyways, moving swiftly on. Great win and what a match. Yeah, no, it was brilliant, wasn't it, Michael? We really enjoyed ourselves, for sure. But look, let's get into the game then. Obviously, the first half, well, for me, I don't know what you thought, Jack, but obviously it felt like it was a clear penalty early. In fact, I'm just completely off the rails this evening. Why have got the team lineup still up? I mean,
I definitely thought it were a penalty.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say, didn't you? It was a definite foul on Ruskin. I don't know how the referee missed it. He couldn't even keep up with play, to be fair to him.
I mean, I think the referee knew we got it wrong because afterwards, I think we had a foul on one of their players and the referee didn't give it. So I think he were making up for that mistake.
See, I'm just having an absolute nightmare right now. Right. I'm just clicking every button and I'm just going wrong. Yeah, no, I agree, mate, but I just think that we've had that referee before and it is dreadful. Let's have a look. Great resilience from the team. Yes, it certainly was. I mean, I'm going to get into that in a minute because I actually was waiting for a moment where we had a little setback, which we did in this match, of course, we're going to get into, and the way we reacted. But now a few observations I heard early on in this match as well is that Dan Voss started the game very well, in my opinion. He looked very bright in that midfield. And obviously alongside Kasumu, who has a lot of experience and was helping him along the way, absolutely. That's what I think when you've got a player that hasn't played senior minutes before, it's good to have an experienced player like Kasumu in there who's going to help him. But look, I think he was making a few good challenges early on. Voss, for sure, won the ball back a few times. But yeah, what did you make? Because to say that Voss hadn't had any senior minutes for us, what did you make of his start to this match? Because I thought he did. It looked like he was totally at home, wasn't he? Really, from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played all right. You know, putting in the challenges. But I mean, with having Kasumu beside him, obviously did help with having the experience. But again, he did play all right in the first half and just trying to get them tackles in and, you know, help get on the counters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Matthew says we should have had 2 more in the game. Look, we should have had a couple of penalties. Yeah, I agree. We're going to get into it. That was the first one, obviously, gone through first. But yeah, no, I agree, mate. I mean, that referee, how he didn't see, the blatant penalty. I'm not being biased, guys. That first one was clear as day as well. Mike's in the building. He says, coming back twice to win the game on penalties made the game so much more pleasurable against the championship team, who for the last 30 minutes, probably the strongest. Yeah, they played well. They were putting us under pressure in those final moments as well. I was getting a bit edgy. But yes, big up, Mike. I agree with you. And Mike will be joining me tomorrow evening for the preview show to the game against Blackpool this weekend, of course, our next fixture. Matthew says, shows the character in the team compared to last year. Just shows the togetherness and how much we had players not playing for the team last year or the team. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Like, obviously, we know that there were so many players that didn't want to be here, didn't care if they won or lost. They were just a bunch of losers, basically. And we've brought in the right characters, the mentality to win, and we've got players for the door that want to be here. Not only want to be here, they want to help the team, of course, but they want to keep improving themselves. And that's what you need, hungry players in your team that want to keep pushing for more out of themselves. But yes, I agree, Matthew, for sure. And evening to Joshua's in the building. Evening, Ryan, says, hope you're well. Big up. Yes, I'm all right, thank you. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for tuning in. But look, for me, let's have a look. Yeah, for me as well, I think Leicester were really looking like they were going down their left-hand side a lot in the opening 15 minutes. And they were getting a bit of joy, weren't they? They managed to get in a couple of times. Obviously, this was Gooch's side. But look, yeah, that's just my observation of that one. Obviously, for me as well, I think Dion Charles, I mean, I just felt like he was really struggling out there, to be honest with you, match. Getting isolated up top as Leicester was starting to dominate the possession a bit more. I think, look, you can't knock his work rate, but the reality is, Jack, is that we need, from your striker, you need more than that, don't you? Running the hard yards is the bare minimum wherever you play today, not just up for anywhere you play. But you need that quality. You need to offer something. For me, Charles was struggling in that first half, open exchanges and throughout the match.
But yeah, I mean, Charles, I mean, he was trying to play some balls, but I mean, he needs to be running them yards, like you say. Strikers need a couple of qualities, and just, I mean, the fans, giving it to Dion, but if you don't give him the minutes, give him the chances that he needs, he's not going to deliver.
Yeah, I agree, mate. But the problem we've got at the moment is because our depth is so good, we can't give him consistent minutes, especially when he's playing like he's doing. Look, if you can't do the basics, and I'm not being harsh here, but there were a couple of times in this first, I think it was the first half, where he had the ball to feed, but he was just so heavy touches. You know what I mean? Every time he came to him, you can't have. I'm sorry, his confidence looks shot. I don't really know what you do anymore with him, because how do you build that confidence? Because I'm sure Grant is trying to help him, you know what I mean, and build his confidence a little bit. But I don't really see where he goes from here, really, in my opinion, because when he comes on, he just doesn't offer anything. And when he had a big opportunity last night, he's starting the match, yes, against championship opposition, granted, but he had a big opportunity, and I'm afraid he really did disappoint. I'm not expecting him to be, obviously we know where he's come. We know where he's at. He's struggling and things like that. I don't expect him to be amazing. I just want to see something. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything at the moment, and that's how I see it with Charles. So it's a shame. I really hope he can get some, you know what I mean? Joshua says, what a win. Congrats on getting through against the championship side, especially on penalties, and staying resilient every time you see the goal. Yeah, no, you're spot on, mate, and thank you. We're gonna get you. You've already said what I think. The resilience showed in this side, was just brilliant to see last night. A stark change from last season for sure. But thank you for that. And this is the youngster for them kept diving all the time. Yes!
Yeah.
Monga. His name was Monga. And yes, he was a little diver. He was good. He was a good player, to be fair, but he was a diver, absolutely. But look, as we know, obviously, you know what I mean. Ruskin, obviously, with our first opening big chance, wasn't it? You know, from a mistake from Skip, who gave the ball straight to Ruskin on the edge of the penalty area, and he shot it over. But it was a good attempt, wasn't it? This, but he should have really got it on target. Maybe, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it were nice for him to, you know, get the shot off, but I mean, just over the bar, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, just over.
Yeah, but if it went in 1-0, you could have been a different game, maybe.
You would have liked him to test the keeper a little bit, I think, from there.
Yeah,
it was a bit fine. Obviously, it was just outside the box, so it wasn't obviously, but it was still a good. No one around him. It was free really to shoot, but yeah, good attempt. Obviously, at the half-hour mark, my observations at that point is that we were really having to work hard off the ball, weren't we? And obviously, we were chasing for the majority of that half, and I think potentially there were maybe a few doubts about fitness levels, how the fitness levels, you know, as we go along the match. But yeah, let's have a look at the comments again because I'm struggling. Dion does more off the ball than Ladapo and Bojan, but I do feel. Hang on. Let's start again. Dion does more off the ball than Ladapo or Bojan. I feel like the team played for the third goal again. I don't know, mate. You're gonna have to read. I don't know what I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying here, but just struggling. Yeah, you'll have to retype it, mate. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Obviously, I know the first beat, right? That's fine. He does more off the ball than Ladapo Bojan, but that's not really hard, is it, mate? In all due respects. Ladapo never, you know, he was always 10 yards away from the ball anyway last season. So that's no surprise. And Bojan, yeah, I don't know. He's always slow as well. Paul's in the building. He says, excellent last night to come back from 2-1. It just shows we have potential in our squad. Yeah, Paul, you're spot on. And it was very pleasing to see us come back so many times in the match and show our resilience. And like I said, it just showed the depth and the potential we have with some of our youngsters as well coming through now, which I've been banging on about for ages now. I want to see some of our youngsters come through because I think we've really struggled with that element, haven't we, in terms of like youngsters coming through into the first team. But now there's a few emerging, and you know what I mean. Ashia for sure. Nat Vost has put himself in the picture a little bit now as well. Obviously, still early days. And I like that Sway as well. Sway in pre-season was fantastic. He looks very at home in that first team. So yes, a few players coming through. Love the fact that Lee Grant went to clap and celebrate with the fans at the end of the game. Chances, yes. Love the passion from the gaffer. Absolutely. Moving swiftly on halftime, obviously 0-0. I mean, for me, a few kind of things I want to say about the first half. They were, apart from the Ruskin chance, I don't think Leicester even had a chance, did they? So there were no real big chances for either side. Leicester were dominating possession for most. Obviously, we were working hard, but it felt like we were a little bit second best in that department. Wiles, Kasum and Ashia, I think they were struggling to kind of get their foot on the ball in that first half, in my opinion. You know, I know actually Kasum was helping Vost in there, but I don't think Kasum certainly did that well in that third. And Wiles was awful. I'm sorry, but people say I've got an agenda, I hate him, but no, I don't. I just think he was poor. And Ashia was struggling a little bit, doing his best, but yeah. Voss, like I said, looked very good, middle of the park. And I think there was plenty to think about for Lee Grant at the interval, wasn't there? Obviously, I was really intrigued to see how he was going to tactically try and affect the game going into the second half. But yeah, what did you make overall of the first half, and any kind of observations you recognised in that first half at all?
I mean, obviously, the first half wasn't, in my opinion, that great. Obviously, we had the Ruskin chance,
Yeah.
but with Monga up down their left hand side, I thought Gooch did pretty well to stop him. I thought Gooch in that first half had a pretty good half, and then again in the middle, like I said, with Vost, played pretty decent. And I think the link-up play as well with Rowan and Ruskin, like how Miller did.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's out injured right now, but I think if we can try and replicate that as well, we're using the wings as well and try and get the balls into the box as well. But yeah, I think the standout play for me in the first half was Gooch dealing with Monga on that left-hand side.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That, to be fair, yeah, I do actually agree. I know he did get in a few times, but look, he's so quick, that Monga. He's so good.
Oh, yeah.
And Gooch, obviously, he's a bit old, obviously a lot older now, and no, but he did well. Very professional. Could tell his experience. He used his experience, didn't he, to really, position himself well. And but yes, I agree. Very nice, very good observation there. You did it better than me. Jensen's in the building. He says, hello, Ryan. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Jensen. I'm doing well, thanks. Yes, hope you're doing well. And of course, I know you was at the game last night. I'm sure you loved it every minute of it, like we all did. He says, I'm buzzing after that win. The atmosphere was great, and now I feel we have got our club back. Yes. Look, I'm still buzzing today, to be fair. I'm just, not just about last night, but I just feel like just how this club, where we are as a club at the moment, we're going places. There's a lot of positivity around. There's a direction, there's an ambition. I just feel like because we've been starved of that kind of, real positivity and, direction and, optimism. I think now, after so long, now we've got it again. It just feels like it's just so good to have it. But you know what I mean? Like, because it's just amazing. But I agree with this last part as well. I feel like we've got our club back, and I can say that with confidence because I can. I just feel like I just feel like it in my heart that we've got our club back now, and it's just, I can't put it to words, but I just feel so happy, to be fair, that we're back and we're going places this season. To be honest with you, right then, so second half. I feel like we actually came out in this second half, and we started on the front foot, didn't we? And so whatever was said at the break by the gaffer certainly motivated the lads to go out there and step it up a little bit, didn't it? Because and that proves that Grant has that big. I know we've seen it from the results anyway, but I mean, like, when a manager can really revitalise kind of. We played badly in that first half, but we just need to step it up a little bit because we were a bit, bit poor in places, I would say, against the championship side, of course, but we still, for me, that's where we want to get to, of course, next, at the end of this season. So, that's what we need to do. But look, just show that League Run has that morale boosting impact on the players, and I just love to play for League Run. If he was my manager, I just love. He just comes across such a great guy and such a positive, really helpful, professional, good communicator, and doesn't overcomplicate things. Just a great all-round guy that just wants to succeed. Anyways, Paul says hello to Jack. Yeah, Jack is listening, and it's always good to get people on the channel. Trying to do that as much as I can this season, to be honest with you. Obviously, I like it to be more interactive with viewers. But of course, a lot of my viewers like to just comment, which is fine. But it is nice to have interaction on screen as well with the guests. But anyways, obviously, Leicester took their goal. Obviously, they opened the scoring, it was actually a very good goal, wasn't it, this from Sheffield? Very fantastic strike into the top corner. No chance for Lee Nichols to get onto it.
Oh, no.
And it was the first goal conceded of the season. But what did you make of this? Do you feel like we could have maybe got tighter on this on Childrey, or do you just think it was just too good of a strike to stop anyway?
I mean, strike was very good. I mean, I wasn't expecting Nichols to save that. I mean, I don't even think Goodman would be able to save that, but
No.
he were a very good strike. I mean, if we could have been a bit tighter in the defence, maybe he might not have been able to get the shot off. But I mean, apart from that, it was a good strike.
Yeah, you've got to give credit and just put your hands up and say, you know what, fair play.
Yeah.
But look, then obviously this is like the moment I was talking about. The moment where we go 1-0 down in a match. How are we going to respond and react to this? How is the manager going to change it tactically to swing the game back in our favour? What is he going to do? And these are the moments that I've spoken about for, I think I spoke about last week, to be fair, about what is going to happen when we are up against it a little bit and we go one behind. What's going to happen then? And we proved it. We proved that this squad has the resilience and mental strength to react to setbacks in a game, which is what we just remember that, in the season's gone by, where we conceded a goal and we ended up conceding again straight after. The mentality change is just it's just unbelievable, isn't it? But and I think we did. And just talking of responding, I think we did respond well. Obviously, Charles did have a half chance, but obviously saw his shot blocked by Defender. And then obviously from the corner as well, Feeney had an effort, which is obviously saved from the keeper. But look, big opportunity for us after that as well. Obviously, a mistake at the back from their keeper as he tries to casually play it out. This overplaying at the back is just. This game is just completely full of it, isn't it now? Play out from the back. There's too much obsessive nature about it, in my opinion. But obviously the ball falls to Wiles' feet, who has a chance to kind of lob it over the keeper, but he doesn't lift it enough. Yeah. Although, to be fair, their keeper was tall. He was tall, and it's obviously tipped wide, though. He's forced him into a save. But what did you make of that opportunity? Because it was a good opportunity, and Wiles was really quiet in this match, but he did. Yeah. He was on his toes in this aspect. He anticipated the mistake, and it nearly paid off with that little dink over, but it just wasn't enough, was it?
No. Well, I mean, he probably could have tried to get a bit more lift on it, because I think he really went for power.
Yeah.
But if he'd have got a bit of more lift, I think that would have definitely gone in.
Yeah, but we were continuing to create these chances after going 1-0 behind. That's my point I'm making here. And that's what I liked. It was positive. We kept at them. We didn't just give up after conceding. We kept going. Oh. We never gave up, and that's what we want to see in this side. And they've shown us early glimpses of what we can expect if we do go 1-0 down in the game along the way in the season. Let's have a look. Matthew says Grant seems to have more ideas and with the team. And we'll change tactics where I feel Duff did last season, won't change and stick with his ways. No, I agree. I absolutely agree, mate. Obviously, Duff is very rigid and he'll stick to his ways and he won't change it, even if it means, he'll just stick to his ways no matter, even if we need it changing, he just won't because he's just stubborn. Whereas Grant, he's flexible. He will do whatever it takes. From what we've seen early on, well, to be fair in this game, because we don't really have any setbacks that we need to deal with before, but he's got what it takes to change it, even if it isn't the way he wants to play. He'll do whatever it takes to get a result, or get the goals to, get a goal to, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean, and I agree with you, mate. Like, we need a flexible coach, and we've got one. You can already see that. It was good to see Leo Castledine enter the field, of course, to make his debut. Obviously, he replaced Wiles, but obviously, what do you think we should expect of Castledine, mate? Because obviously, I do think he's got a lot of potential. And obviously, we know how players from Chelsea have worked out with us. So, do you feel optimistic that he can come into this side and really make a big impact for us like we need him to?
I mean, obviously, looking at previous Chelsea players who've had on loan, Chalobah, Colwell, but I do think Castledine will be a decent player for us, in the midfield, creating them chances as well and helping out back if he needs to. But I mean, I think he'll have the quality, and I think he can be a big part of hopefully promotion this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We know ourselves, don't we, mate? Like, so we need more creativity on our side. And hopefully Castledine can fix those problems. Obviously, I'm not going to judge him off coming off the bench. You know what I mean? But he looked bright when he came, and I must admit, he did do a few good stuff. He's a great passion on the touchline. He reminds me a bit of Carlos. Yes, the gaffer, of course. Lee Grant. I said this though, Ed, if you remember. I said I bet we're going to see Pasha from the sidelines from Grant this season, because I could just sense that I just sensed that he was that kind of character. And yes, we're already seeing it already. So yeah, that's what you want though, don't you, from your manager? Some passion on the touchline. I mean, encouraging players. You know what I mean? And also not scared to have a little bit one-to-one with each player. Just take if there's like a little break, bring one player over and speak to them and do it individually like that.
Yeah,
that's what a coach does. So I don't care if he's not been in a role like this before. He's learned a lot over the years under Kieran McKenna, and also at Man United before he obviously he learned a lot obviously he was doing a player coach role at Man United. But yes, he's learned a lot, and you can see he has really gone into a lot of he's really learned his trade and really gone the extra mile to learn. To have a moment like this where he's come in the door with us, we've given him that chance, and look what he's doing. But yes, very much Carlos-esque indeed. And he says, hope he's better than Tino. I mean, Tino Andrin was a disaster, wasn't he? But look, we're not good. That was one player. Most Chelsea players that we've had on loan have been brilliant, haven't they? So yeah, but Tino, not the best, was it? Injury prone more than anything. Nothing to do with his talent. I think he was a talented guy. I think Ben Wild can get in good positions, but his finishing lets him down. Things with Ben Wild, yeah, good point, mate. But the thing about it is though, mate, like I feel like Ben Wild, yes, I get what you mean. His finishing does let him down, but he also, what I've recognised from Wild is he hides in games at times. You know what I mean? He doesn't show. If you're in that position where he plays, you need to be showing for the ball majority of the time. You can't go hiding. You need to want the ball. But at times, it feels like he shies away from the ball quite a few times. But I don't know if you think like that, Jack, but I feel like that is the case with Wiles. Why does he shy away from the ball? I don't understand.
I mean, I have seen games, where I've wondered, is Wiles even on the pitch? But I think when he is in the positions, he's got the option there. Again, his finishing can let him down, but I mean, when he's hiding, it's like you can't even see him on the pitch, really.
It's frustrating, isn't it? That I don't know if players are having chances and they're missing. Okay, it's not ideal because he did have a couple of chances the other week. In the home game, the last home game, and I think that he had chances there and he missed a couple of chances. So yeah, but the most frustrating thing for me is if he's hiding. Don't like players that hide because you don't take responsibility. And for me, he's not a captain either. So I think that was a poor decision in my opinion. Giving him the leadership group, but also putting him as captain. That's just my view. He's not a captain. Matthew says someone from the club has said he's like Carlos, but more organised and more level-headed. Yeah. Obviously, the people inside the club know him better than us, and yeah, I can believe that. To be fair, you can tell he's very thorough, very organised. I mean, and he's got a good. From what I've heard from him in his press, in his interviews after games and press conferences before games and stuff, he's very level-headed. Doesn't let himself. He doesn't get carried away. You know what I mean? Like last night, he wasn't getting carried away, and like the last game, against Reading, he wasn't getting carried away with the start in the league. He was very level-headed. And I think that helps the squad to remain level-headed too. But what a gamble! It was a big gamble, but it's paying off. It looks like it's going to continue to pay off. Esme, wish I can stay, but I've got to go. So I'm going to bingo. Good luck. Hopefully you win some money. I'll watch it back when I can. No worries, mate. Cheers for popping anyway. I appreciate you. Have a good night. But look, we're going to get back to the game because we get a bit sidetracked. But when we talk about Huddersfield Town, I just go off the rails and everything. But yeah, look, we did obviously get a penalty. Eventually get a penalty. We should have done earlier, as we know, but it was a definite penalty, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah,
Ruskin, that tackle was just so late, nowhere near the ball, was he? And it was a penalty. And then, obviously, Dion Charles stepped up. I have not been arguing, but I didn't really feel confident in Dion Charles before. He didn't look confident either himself. And
No.
to be fair, he had the balls to step up and take it. He could have
yeah.
hit it away and actually said, no, I don't want it. But he wanted it. So fair play to him for that. But the penalty, I mean, I don't think it was a necessarily bad, it wasn't a terrible penalty, but it still didn't go in ultimately. But what I liked about this, goal that we scored is that the reactions from Vost, after the keeper parried it out, and brilliantly, calmly headed into the open goal. You could see how much it meant to him. But what did you make of this goal, mate? Obviously, it was good, wasn't it? It wasn't good in terms of Charles missing, but it was good for Vost to get on the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was good for Vost to react to, the rebound from the goalkeeper and managing to head it in. But yeah, I mean, it'll give him some confidence as well. If Grant decides to put him on the bench for, the league games, and if he comes on, he's got that confidence now. He's got his goal, and I think the reactions was really good from him.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I agree. And I think, like I say, he was the biggest surprise of the starting lineup last night. And I think he really showcased what he could do, and we probably will see more of him now. And like you say, it gives him a confidence boost, which is important in those opening moments as a senior player. You know what I mean? Not used to the environment, and I know obviously the academy and the first team integrated quite nicely at our club, but I feel like you don't really match anything for a match day when you're in that fact. Everybody's watching. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But yeah. Noah has said, what a match. I watched it when I came up from Norwich. Such a biased referee. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go on about the referee, but the referee was shocking. I've already said it already. We've had that guy before, and I remember him for all the wrong reasons. So, yes, what a terrible referee. We always get him, though, don't we, mate?
Yeah.
Noah said they already love Asher. Yeah, he's such a joy to watch. He's off his seat. And he's exciting. He never shies away. Or even if it doesn't work, he always looks to go forward at every opportunity. And he's just such a talented guy. To be fair, really, really good. Plays way above his years. McCall says after not scoring a penalty at home in a long time, in 2 home games, we've scored 4 penalties. Yeah, I mean, look again. All the things that have changed this year are just big changes, and I just like it. I just like the fact that we, they're all positive changes that have happened this year. So we're ending these records, and we're, good for us to put those bad records to bed. But look, then obviously, more or less straight after this, though, Leicester did go up the other end and score. Harry Winks. I mean, when they brought the likes of Ayew on and Winks and Mavadidi and all these, but I thought you are so we have good depth ourselves, but when you bring in quality like that as well, that's just crazy. But look, Harry Winks, a great shot low and into the bottom corner. Nothing again that Nichols could do. It's a fantastic strike. But what did you make of this goal, mate? Obviously, it was just a first-time strike, wasn't it? It was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I think just curled it past Nichols, on the ground. Again, not much Nichols could have really done, but I mean, they were in the right place, to be fair, and like you say, he's managed to get it past Nichols and they score, but we move on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And big up to everyone that's tuning in right now. Make sure you smash that like button if you've got 12 viewing here right now, and subscribe if you're new. But welcoming everybody. Let's look. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Paul, but you've kind of started a sentence and then haven't finished it. Let's have a look at this one. So Charles, it's good the fact we've won 2 home games at the start of 2025. At the start of 2020, we kept losing 1-0. Yeah, and obviously. The thing is, though, like, people, when we, if you remember last season, we won games, but we were winning games and we weren't really deserving it. And we were riding that luck a lot of the time. It didn't feel like we were winning. This season, it feels a lot different. We're winning games. We deserve to win the games as well. And we're playing a lot better football. So it's just night and day difference, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I agree. It's good to make our home a fortress first and foremost, and then obviously you need points on the road. But make our home a fortress, and that's what we need this season. And I do believe the crowd are fully back on board, the town faithful are back on board fully. There's a lot of apathy at the end of last season. But yeah, everybody's back on board, and I think that stadium is going to be full and good atmosphere every week, which is what we need at home, for sure. But yes, good points. Where's McGuire? Look, mate, I mean, I was speaking to Aiden the other day about this. Like, yeah, look, we signed a player that A, hadn't had a pre-season, B, we knew that it was going to take ages to get up to speed, but yet we still signed him. For me, I don't know. I'm just a bit like about this one, because like we know we need players in that we need more options in that midfield.
Yeah.
And McGuire is part of that. So why do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm coming from? Like, why have we signed a player that isn't going to be ready for ages? Because he's nowhere near. So and I was surprised he wasn't in some way involved last night. So where was he last night? So you know what I mean? So what do you make of it, mate? Like McGuire, it is frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I knew he didn't have a pre-season. Obviously, it's going to take him a bit to get up to speed. But I mean, I thought he'd at least have an involvement, possibly on the bench. But we don't see what goes on in training and stuff in the majority of the time. But we'll see when he gets involved.
The longer this goes on, by the way, I'm gonna just question if McGuire's actually a real person, because we just don't know where he is.
Yeah.
We just don't know where he is. But look, yeah, I mean, look, we need him in this start lineup and quick, because if he's not if he's not playing any part in the next couple of weeks, I will start to be saying it, because it's just not good enough. Paul said it's good we have two good goalkeepers. Lee Nichols, excellent. Yeah. No, mate, I agree. Like, you need competition in those goalkeeping positions. I think, again, good to have that. We haven't had competition. Nichols was always, I mean, to be fair, Chapman and Nichols were obviously back and forth for each other last year, but I feel like, I don't know, Chapman did do well to start with, and then obviously Nichols came back in after Chapman started to be a bit shaky, but I don't think there's been proper competition in goalkeeping department in all due respects. No real offence to Chapman, but I don't think there has been competition really. Let's have a look. No, so they're looking back at some old town program. I saw you, Ryan Law. I think it was versus Man City or something. Yeah, and I've been obviously in the program down at town a few times. Moving swiftly on back, we're diverting, but I appreciate. Look, we're just having a good chat this evening about the club and obviously about the game as well. So we're kind of mixing it up a little bit here. But look, back to the game. Lee Grant making immediate double substitution. May and Taylor coming on to the field to replace Charles and Ruskin. I think Ruskin was probably a substitution that we made because we need to save him for the weekend more than anything. Because obviously we haven't really got many options in that kind of position at the moment. But Charles, I think, yeah, obviously, I'm surprised Charles lasted as long as he did. But yeah, obviously, Grant tried to give him a little, bit of extra time that second half, but he still wasn't really doing anything. So I took him off. But look, I thought the game was opening up now with the last 20 minutes of the game, in my opinion. Yeah. And we had to go for it at this point, didn't we? Because obviously we were 2-1 down, and we needed to get a goal if we wanted to, at least get penalties. But obviously this goal, I mean, I just rinse and repeat this goal. I just can't stop watching it. But Cameron Asher, take a bow, you superstar indeed. But look, this goal was unbelievable, wasn't it? The composure, the calmness, the strike, the way he curled it. And this was, what an amazing couple of days, wasn't it? But I think it was a superb strike. And like I said, the goalkeeper had no chance. But yeah, talk me through this goal. I mean, it was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was good for him to, go to where Ruskin were playing, because I think, obviously the creativity was coming from Ruskin a bit, and then to see Cammy go to where Ruskin was just shows that, we were creating more with, Ashia, and then for him to go forward with the run and cut inside and have that shot. I mean, the goal speaks for itself. Really, it's just what a goal.
The confidence as well to do that as well.
Oh yeah.
I think he got confidence from that goal that he scored against Reading the weekend, of course.
100%,
and that's giving him a big boost. And not that he needs a boost because he's just fearless. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like getting your first goal at the weekend is really for, you know what? Why not just have a pop again? I've got, the space was there. He opened up his body and he obviously put it in. I love the celebration as well to the corner flag. I love it. But yeah, brilliant. Below obviously made a double substitution after that as well. Final 10 minutes of the match here now. Ashia did come off and Gooch came off. Gooch, obviously, good to get 80 minutes more in the legs for Gooch, who, of course, did start pre-season late and he's still building up his minutes, but now got a good 80 minutes again, so it's good. And Ashia, of course, well, both players came up to a standing ovation, but Ashia as well, obviously coming off. Obviously he's played a lot of football these last couple of days. Probably wants to stay on, to be fair to him, but yeah, Grant decided to change it. Obviously Sway came on, and Sorensen as well. But let's go to the comments before we do go any further because I've got a few to catch up on. Let's have a look. Matthew says, Lee Grant has said he wants 2 number 1 goalkeepers. I'm a big Nichols fan and got the new orange shirt. I'll be getting him on the back of my shirt. Oh, nice. Nice one. I mean, that's fair enough. But obviously, look, Nichols is good competition. But I do think that Goodman will be number 1 for most of the season, if not out for most. Let's have a look. I was so nervous when I saw Leicester take a penalty. Yeah, no, I mean, I was a little bit. We'll get to the penalty in a moment, mate. It's like Josh Karoma type of goal cut inside from the left and top bins. Yeah, Josh Karoma was certainly capable of that. Notice that the Grey versus Reading 2 didn't manage to make the stream as I was away. I didn't do a stream at the weekend, mate, so you didn't miss out. And then, yeah, I mean, look, that's how quickly things can change in football. You know what I mean? It was at Torquay, you know what I mean, half a season ago, and now he's took his opportunity in the first team with us, and he's, life can change quickly in anything you do, really. So, yeah, fair play to him. And notice I'm really liking Lee Grant at the moment. Yeah, no, we're loving him, aren't we, at the moment? James Way should have had a penalty given as well. Yes, we'll get into that in a moment, of course. But look, the reaction, obviously, that I saw from Lee Grant as Ashley, obviously, when he scored that goal, he was just so, could tell that he was just wow, just wow moment kind of face, you know what I mean? And but look, into the last 5 minutes of the game, and it felt like at this point it was anyone's game at this point, didn't it? You know, both sides trying to get a winner. We were kind of at this point we were really thinking, you know, we can make that, we can do a cup upset here, you know what I mean? And that's how it was. And see, 6 minutes injury time at the end. See Castledine obviously finding space for a shot in the box, but it went wide. It went really wide. In fact, he miscued it, to be fair. And then obviously the penalty shout, like Matthew said earlier, said obviously, Sway finds himself in the penalty, got a great pass across to him as well. But I think he was bundled over. Definitely a penalty for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely a penalty. From where I was sat, I think it were a clear foul, but it should have been another penalty again.
Absolutely. That referee, I mean, I just don't know. Let's have a look. I think Josh Feeney will be a good signing this season. Yeah, no, mate, I agree. Like, obviously, we know that the partnership that Watmore and Lowe have struck early on, but Feeney will be needed as well, and he'll be a very good player. He'll be a good player, and he'll play a big part this season as well. And I think he's a quality player to come on. You know what I mean? And he's ready and waiting, and you know what I mean. I just think he's a really good player to have on you. You know, you see, because of the depth we've got now in that position, he would really be starting in most teams in this division. But I think because we've got so much depth, I think, and because Watmore and Lowe have struck up that partnership and done so well,
Oh yeah.
I think it's hard for him to get in, isn't it, at the moment? But maybe, you never know. You might get in at some point. There might be a little injury to one or the two of them, Watmore and Lowe, and then he gets a chance, doesn't he? You just got to be ready. But yeah, I agree, mate. I do like Fide. I think he will be a great signing for us. No, so I like how Ashia celebrates with the fans too. True Terrier. You can see the passion, can't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. He appreciates the opportunity that the club have given him. And yes, really, 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 really good to see. Now, there were another final big moment of this match. Obviously, a brilliant save by Nichols, wasn't it? This, I mean, to keep it level, obviously, getting down so low like that so quickly was just brilliant. But yeah, obviously, he kept it level, and we went to penalties, of course. Now, I'm just going to run through the penalties, how they happened, and then we'll discuss it. So look, penalty one, Nichols obviously saves the first from Accu, who had just come on. I mean, I think it was a poor penalty, but Nichols still reacted and still saved. For us, Joe Taylor stepped up then, and then he missed as well, and he was similar kind of run up. Why do players on the penalty? Why do they stop before they take it? Why do they do that? Just run up and take it. You're slowing yourself down, and then and it just doesn't work. You're missing if you're doing that, and it proved. But yes, still 0 at this point. Penalty 2, Mavadidi converts for Leicester, and then we had to respond. Of course, Alfie May stepped in. Of course, he scored. That is what he does. 1-1, and then penalty 3, we had Luke Thomas step up for Leicester, and he slotted it home, a very good penalty. And then Castledine steps up, and this was the penalty. This was the best penalty of the lot, for me. Brilliant into the corner, very confident, and yes, his point back level 2-2. Penalty 4, Nichols makes El Canoes wait. I love that. A bit of mind games by Nichols, and it worked. It worked, and he ended up hitting the post. That was good to see. We love a little Nichols mind games in there. But look, and then obviously Sorensen stepped up, which I was a little bit thingy about this one because I wasn't sure what to expect really.
Yeah.
And this one was close, wasn't it? He just got it in, but it was the keeper nearly got it, and he should really have got it probably. So that made it 3-2 to us. We had the advantage. Then Nichols obviously saved again, and then that meant that we were through. Great save, and the atmosphere just erupted at that point. But yeah, what did you make of the penalties overall? I feel like it was a shame that Taylor missed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think Taylor needs to kind of get a couple of goals and have a little bit of a run of goals.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know. He's not struggling, but he's not. He's looking bright. Looks a lot sharper.
Oh yeah.
Wrong, but we just need him to get. It's a shame he missed that one. But what did you make of the penalties overall? I think they were mostly very, very good, weren't they? In Leicester.
Yeah. I mean, Alfie May, with him scoring, he knows how to take a penalty, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then Castledine's penalty was very impressive as well. So I mean, Sorensen, I thought goalkeeper saved it at first, and then it just sneaked in.
Yeah.
And then I gotta give praise to Nichols with the penalties. They're saving their first one, obviously, which will have been their last one. But I mean, Nichols can save the penalties when needed. And then with the penalty takers, just strong penalties all around, and really pleased with the penalties.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I agree. Let's look. Noah says, am I going to Blackpool? No, stop reminding me, please. Unfortunately, no, I'm not going to Blackpool, guys, because I missed out on the tickets. I had to wait till the Friday to get mine. because I couldn't actually get that. I'm not paying the booking fees on that. I'm sorry. It's my own fault I missed out, to be honest. I could have paid the booking fee. I would have been going. But yes, I'm not going. I will be going to Barnsley though. Of course, is that the next away game? Yeah. No, I think we've got Sunderland in between, haven't we?
Yeah, we might.
In between. So Sunderland potentially will be my next away game. I'm not giving it away, but yes, potentially. So yes, so pleased for Nichols. Yeah, no, obviously good for Nichols to do what he did. Jace Tway was going to be the 5th penalty taker, I heard, and good lad to step up with 2 if need. Yeah, shows if that is true, then it shows the confidence of him as well, and that's good. I didn't know that, mate. So yes, thank you for letting me know. But thankfully, didn't have to go down to that last penalty, which I'm glad. I'm glad because that would have been really, really nerve-wracking. But yeah, look, obviously the celebrations at the end were fantastic, weren't they? And obviously,
100%.
The place just erupted. I mean, I know it was only one side open, but the noise we made was fantastic. Obviously, I suppose it's because we're all together in the same stand that helped. But look, full time, obviously, we did manage to come out on top. A few observations from me. Yeah, obviously, we won the penalty shootout, and I thought we did. I thought the penalties overall were good. And Nichols coming up with the goods, fantastic. Obviously, it was in the game, though, in full time, in normal time, sorry. Obviously, it was great to see Ashia get a moment like that, especially at home as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was great for him. And what a goal it was! Without Ashia, we wouldn't have got the penalties, of course. Because we don't really know what would have happened after that. But I mean, I feel obviously without Ashia, we would have, got back in it. Voss, great to see him get on the score sheet. You know what I mean? On his first minutes of the senior team, so it was brilliant to see. And yes, a little bit of a cup upset here. Obviously, with a heavily rotated team for us, and it's just all very good signs, isn't it? And a strong start in the league round. But yeah, what did you kind of take away from the game? Well, the penalties were great, but in full, I think we did. Like I said earlier, even if we wouldn't have won that penalty shootout, I still would have been proud because I felt
I would have been as well. Yeah. I mean, the second half speaks for itself, really. You know, I thought it were miles better than the first.
Yeah.
We had that desire to come back from being, a goal down both times, and to have the spirit as well to get them goals can show that even if we are behind, we can, find the goals. And then again, standout player for me is, Ashia as well. Like we say, creating them chances and getting the goal. Just my standout player of the match for me, and just a brilliant second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that as well, as something to note as well in this match is that Ruskin was constantly making those runs, wasn't he, all the way up until when he got subbed, and he was doing so well. But obviously, it's just nice. Like I said earlier, it's nice to have some exciting youngsters come through. Not just Ashia, but Vost, and now, we know Sway was obviously involved in pre-season and did very well, made an impression in pre-season.
Yeah.
Obviously, hopefully Charles can start scoring goals for us soon. Do you know that's now 21 games and counting into his time at the club without a goal.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah, I mean, how long is this going to continue? It's just really, really difficult. And you don't get a bigger chance. I know I said stepping up for that penalty, fair play to him.
Yeah.
But, you don't get a bigger chance than that, do you, from the penalty? And he squandered it. So he doesn't look confident. I don't know how I don't know what. I'm sure Grant is trying to help him as much as he can, but I don't really know what else he can do. He just needs a lucky goal, doesn't he? Something that rebound maybe, just and that'll get him going maybe. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about Charles? Like, how do we get him to start firing for us?
I mean, if we were to play him, I'd probably play him with Taylor or May, just to have two of them pressing. And I just think if he is to get a goal, it'll, like you say, it might be a rebound or something like that. I just think once he gets that first goal, I'm sure the confidence will be there, and if he does start playing a bit more, he can hopefully get some more goals.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, to be fair, the only way he's going to get fired up and get kickstart his career is by scoring. So that's the answer, yeah, basically. So let's see. Let's have a look at the comments. Another thing I like about our central is they are all above 6 foot. Yeah, we've got a lot of height at the back now, haven't we? And not only that, but they're quick players as well. Obviously, Wallace obviously isn't that quick. By the way, Murray Wallace was fantastic in this game.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? He was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was dealing with everything, you know what I mean? Might not have much pace, but he was just brilliant. He was really impressed for me. And he's a good player. Obviously, we know he's not going to be starting every week for us, but he's a good player to come off the bench to see out a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we need him. So, yeah. But, yeah, no, we have got a tall defence now, but also physical. They're tall, but doesn't mean necessarily physical, but they're physical guys, you know what I mean? And quick as well. So, yeah, and most of them. No, so hopefully we start getting more numbers and season cards now. Yeah, you know what? Apparently, I don't know if this was a thing that the club was just telling us, but yeah, they put the season. I don't know if they've closed them again, but now, but they had to put the season cards back on sale again because there was so much interest in them. So I don't know if they was exaggerating that or if it was actually true, but I can kind of believe that, to be fair, because the start we've made, I think people have started to react. Well, you know what I mean? Wow, we are actually back here and we're actually going places, and the promises that was promised have now been delivered. So we're happy to come back on board, kind of thing. So, yeah, no, we want that stadium full, our home, and rocking. Matthew said the game of two halves, like you said. Yeah, it wasn't. That is actually true. That it was a game of two halves, absolutely. Half time, you wouldn't have expected that second half, and then the win with penalties. Yeah, you've made a very good point, mate. Like, obviously, the first half wasn't the best, was it really? And then second half, it just completely went crazy with 4 goals in that. Yeah, so yes, indeed. So let's have a look at a few of the stats from the game. Now, so they had more possession, which I think you'd expect, really, to be fair. But we actually was obviously testing their keeper more than they were testing ours. And of course, 11 shots they had 12, but we had 6 on target, they had 3. So yeah, we were very good value for it, even though it did come on penalties, because I do feel like in that second half, I know they got the third, I think they kind of just edged the first half, even though they weren't really doing much. But I mean, in terms of domination of the ball, we were starting to do more in the second half. But I feel like we had a better second half than they had a better than their first half. So do you know what I mean? Yeah. So look, it is that time to get the play ratings on the doors then. So let me just put the banner up, which is here. Here we are. So play ratings. So Lee Nichols in goal, of course. For me, I think he gets an 8 from me. I think Nichols was brilliant. I mean, he did save us, in the game, but also the penalties, he was just outstanding. So I think he came in to say it's his first competitive minutes. And, he, like I say, ultimately, he was the hero in the penalty shootout. So I thought it was a very good one from him. What did you make of Lee Nichols, and what's your rating?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree. Probably around an 8 as well. Penalties, great with the save, and obviously in the game as well. Like he'd said with the stats, they didn't have much to do, but when he had, when he was called upon, he was there. So yeah, I'd probably say around 8 is a fair rating for me.
Yeah, and you can go first in this one. So what about Lyndon Gooch?
Yeah, I mean, like I touched upon in the first half, with Monga, stopping him every chance he got. I'd probably give him round a 6 or a 7. you know,
Yeah.
obviously coming off in the second half, but what he did do in the first half and bit in the second, it did help, you know, stop Monger on the attack. So I'd probably say around 6 or a 7.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think I'll give him a 7 because I just think he deserves a 7. He, like you say, he did keep Mongo quiet on that side, constantly put him under pressure and giving him a hard time. So, and obviously won quite a few challenges on that side as well. And he wasn't, you know what I mean? He was brilliant. So, but obviously he couldn't stop Mavididi as obviously Leicester made it 2-1 though. Obviously that came from his side. So, but yeah, he did very well. So for me, he gets the 7. Obviously, he did come off as well. Shall we go to the? No, we'll have to keep going, guys. We're going to keep going, but oh no, I'm going to just go to the comments because I don't want to. Since hope people back Kevin Nagel now. He said he would get it right, and he's changed a lot for the off the field. Look at H-Town Club Shop with 1908 restaurant. And I feel we've got the right manager now. Yeah, obviously, mate, like, look, I mean, I've obviously been very critical of Nagel over the past couple of years, but I've given him credit where credit's due now because, yes, it's taken him 2 years but he's changed his ways and he got rid of the biggest problem that he brought with him. You know what I'm talking about. He finally had made sense and got rid of him at the end of last season. Thank goodness. And you know what I mean. Then, in all due respect, I know you talk about the money he's putting in the H-Town Club Shop and 99 restaurant. Yeah, that's great. But for me, first and foremost, was the fact that we were getting players in, that we need, the quality players in, the right characters and things. So the manager choice that obviously he's made, getting that right as well. So yeah, look, of course it's nice. The club shop's fantastic. Obviously, H-Town's great, and obviously the restaurant as well. If you're lucky enough to go in there, but yeah, I just feel like the players, the quality of players, the manager, that what's on the pitch is the most important first. Is what I'm trying to say. Of course, he's backed both up. He's done both. The problem I've had with him in the past is he's done a lot of work. He's got a lot of money. You know when he was like putting a lot of money off the field, but we weren't really seeing anything on the field. So it's like, I'm not comfortable with this. It's all well and good doing all that, but you're not going to have anybody here to enjoy any of these facilities that you're introducing. So, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's how I see it. And let's have a look. Notice tickets are out versus Barnsley now, Ryan. First time I've seen Town in person win since October 2024. The tickets for Barnsley are not out yet, mate. They're out on Monday. And I know that. They're out on the 18th, so yeah. But yes, they're out very, very soon. I already know. I'm on it already. 5,000 tickets, though, so we've got plenty to go around. There were some great updates to the art in the background and graphics in the stream, by the way. Yeah, to be fair, mate, I'm not happy with it at the moment because, like, I need to see if I can shrink the cameras so I can see the background more. Because with Restream, the cameras are just too big. So I need to try and sort it. I still haven't got around to doing it. So, but I appreciate that. You can't really see the full background, which is, you could see more of it on StreamYard. Annoying. Paul said, I don't usually drink in the week, but I was buzzing that much. I had to have 2 pints. Go on, Paul. Go on, Paul, man. I love that. Why not? I had an ice cream to celebrate. Anyways, moving swiftly on. Up next, Josh Feeney. For me, he gets a 7. Obviously, his clearance that dropped, obviously, perfectly for Chowdhury was a bit unfortunate, to when he scored Chowdhury, of course. Obviously, had a header saved at the other end just a couple minutes later, but I thought he did. I think he did all right. I think he did good, to be honest with you. Feeney looked good, composed, calm on the ball, and just I feel like he's going to be a big player for us, like we said already. But what did you make of Feeney?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go around 7, maybe 6, 7. I mean, I just think with the performance he had, obviously played well in that back line, and I do think if anything happens to like Low or Watmore, Feeney can come into that back line and, can do a solid job. So, I mean, yeah, they were obviously unlucky that his clearance fell to Chowdhury, but, he did play well. So, yeah, probably 6-7.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one of those things. Next. Oh, yeah, you're next. Murray Wallace. What do you make of Murray Wallace in your rating?
He did. He played very well in that back line, even though he wasn't named captain, obviously he's part of that leadership group. I thought he controlled the back line very nice. And, he had a few chances, like with the headers and getting able to clear the ball. But yeah, I think Wallace played very well. I'd probably give him around an 8.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wallace played better than I expected him to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't had many minutes. People have to realise that. And he came in and it's like he'd had loads of minutes in pre-season. He were ready to go. You know what I mean? So full credit to him. You know what I mean? Top professional, will help on and off the field, and he will be good person to have around the dressing room, of course, and a good role model for some of our younger lads to learn off. But yeah, his performance was fantastic. For me, I have to give him an 8. And he was obviously he's part of the leadership group. And when Wiles went off, Murray Wallace did take the armband.
Yeah,
so,
he did.
Yeah, really good to see. 8. So let's just go through these. We're gonna try and finish very soon, guys. Sean Rowan, for me, gets an 8. Obviously, started at left back. I think it was our best look at him once in competitive action.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was just impressive from the off really in this match. A really great that long pass over the top for Ruskin, who obviously, it should have been a penalty for that. That was the penalty I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he just kept doing that same ball over the top, and he was just
yeah.
really, really good. But also, most importantly, defensively, very, very solid.
Yeah.
And really composed on the ball when he's got it. So I just love him. For me, an 8. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll probably go with an 8 as well. Like you mentioned, with the balls over the top for Ruskin, and again throughout the match, and he's good to see. And then again defensively, he's composed. He can, he's not afraid to go in for the tackle, and yeah, probably right with an 8.
Absolutely, yeah. So next, Dan Vost. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, he did play quite well. Obviously, got his goal. Also, like we said, that'll boost his confidence definitely. I'll probably give him around 7 or 8. A player that did impress me with him coming in. But yeah, very well in the middle of the park.
Yeah, absolutely. And this rating that I'm going to give him is a rating that I have to take into consideration everything in terms of his first chance in the first team, and he stood firm in that first, in the opening exchanges, and he stood firm throughout the match. But I mean, like in those opening exchanges, you can be a little bit more nervous than as the game goes on. You start to grow in confidence, of course. But I think opening exchanges, he just kept growing into the match. I think he was really held his own in that midfield with Leicester. These players he was coming up against were experienced players, strong, physical, and he wasn't prepared to be bullied off that ball. He was standing firm in there. Brilliant, impressive. And like I say, got his goal, reacted quickest, really good instincts, really good reactions, really calm to head that ball in. Yes, open kind of goal, but he still had to do it, and he did it. So I was just impressed, and I think he has pushed his name into Lee Grant's thinking moving forward.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got so much depth now, guys, so we can't include everybody on the bench now, which is just somewhat. It's a good problem to have, but I want to see a few youngsters like Voss get more opportunities from the bench. I don't think he'll start. To be fair, if he started, then I wouldn't obviously. But obviously, we know these players ahead of him at the moment. But yes, that's what I think. Let's have a look at the comments before we do go further on. We're nearly there at the ratings anyway. Let's have a look. Noah says, buzzing. I'm going to try and go to around 4 or 5 away and a few home. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Yeah, I can't wait to get on the road again. And obviously, it's been a while. And yeah, obviously the wait will continue. I did want to go to Blackpool, but yeah, sold out. So yeah, but yeah, look, good to hear it, Noah. And Paul says can't help but be buzzing at the moment. Yeah, no, we're yeah, absolutely, I agree. Up next, we have got David Kasumu. Did you go first last time? I can't remember. Yeah, you went first, right? Me now. For me, I give Kasumu a 7. I feel like he should have been given a penalty. That was another one, didn't we? Another penalty shout. Yeah, that also went into the box and went down. And that was clearly a foul. But he was constantly chasing, hassling, to good effect all night for me. And his first competitive minutes, I didn't really know, right? Like, I felt like League One, I don't think really took him to Kasumu. Because I was in a chat the other day with my mate about this, is that for me, and this is my personal choice, I think I prefer Kasumu over Kane.
Yeah, I do as well.
But Kane has started the season well, but I still prefer Kasumu because he gives you that aggression. He gives you that. He'll drive forward. I just feel like he's the better all-round player. That's what I feel. But Grant doesn't seem to favour him for whatever reason. Obviously, he got a chance in this one, but he hasn't even come off the bench in the opening couple of games that we've had either. So I thought, what's going on here? But obviously, he got his chance, and I think he played well. So for me, he gets a 7. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say 7's roundabout right. I've like Kasumu in that middle. And he shows the desire to drive forward as well when he can, and he's just just a solid midfielder. So yeah, about 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, Ben Wiles, you now. What do you think?
Probably give Wiles round a 5. I mean, he wasn't the best, but obviously wasn't the worst. But I mean, the only chance I really saw from Wiles was that chance where he could have lifted it over the keeper, but I think he wasn't really doing much in the game, so I'd give him about a 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for me, I agree. I'm going to go with a 5. I just think he was very ineffective in this match, especially in the first half. He was very quiet. It was a bit more lively in the second half, but I don't think he could have got any less lively than he showed in the first half, to be honest with you. So I don't really think I should be giving credit for that. Obviously, he did have that chance, didn't he, where he tried to get it over the keeper, but couldn't quite pull it off. And obviously went off as well in the second half as well. Yeah, so for me, 5. For me, just not very effective when you consistency. And I feel like that's why Ben Wild is more of a bench player, because he struggled with consistency since he's come to the club. This is nothing new. I mean, he has a brilliant game one week, and then he's back to not doing much in the game after that. You know what I mean? It's stop-start, and I think that's a good bench player to have, because will he make a bigger impact from the bench?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're gonna race through these ratings. Cameron Ashia, my hair fever, guys. I'm loving it. Cameron Ashia was just outstanding for me, and he has to be my player of the match because he was just brilliant. He was definitely my man of the match. I thought he was just, going forward, driving forward, you know what I mean? Causing a lot of, just causing havoc, you know what I mean? Creating chances. And then obviously he got his goal, which I thought he took very, very well, as we've already said. But I just think his overall play was just constantly trying to make things happen. And to say he's not played much in the first team before, you wouldn't have been able to tell that with the way he's producing at the moment. I feel like the first half he was a bit more quiet though, wasn't he? But in the second half, when we switched him to the left, he looked a lot better then, didn't he? So is that an option that we could take with Ruska and Ashia, rotating a little bit at times? Because I still feel we need another winger, but maybe with Ashia stepping up a little bit now. Then maybe we just needed the one wing. I thought we needed two, but I think maybe one. I mean, we potentially need one for the other side as well. But I don't know. But for me, I'm going to give him an 8. I think he was on 8.5 because I do think in the second half he was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree. You know, he was my man of the match for me. You know, when he went onto that left hand side, he did, you know, play better. You know, creating them chances, and obviously his goal took very well. Again, can't take it away from the goal. It were a brilliant goal. But I think it's a good point there. You know, could he be in contention with Ruskin on that left hand side? You know, give a little competition there. But also, I do agree. I think we need at least another winger. But yeah, Ashia is my man of the match for me.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. What a guy. Next, we've got Ruben Ruskin. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Ruben Ruskin did play well, obviously. Like I said, creating the chances, obviously, until he came off, he was really, really good. So I'd probably give Ruskin about a 7. Obviously, unlucky not to, obviously, win the penalty in the first half, and obviously, unlucky to probably get a goal of his own. But from the creative aspect, I think he about a 7.
Yeah, I've actually got a little graphic about Ruskin's kind of output in this match as well. And for me, I just think Ruskin really, you know what I mean, was constantly on the move.
Yeah.
Constantly on the move all the time, you know, and making those runs. That's what your wingers need to do.
Yeah.
Keep being on the move, keep making those runs in behind for the, you know, players behind you to feed you, you know, play those balls over the top, you know, and he creates space for himself as well. He creates that space. I thought it was brilliant. For me, I'm giving a lot of high ratings this evening, but I have to because I just say for me he gets an 8. But if we look at his output here in a moment, so if you look at his output here, you know, I mean, he played so well. The amount of in fact, I can't actually. Let me just make it big screen. This is nothing on streaming. Right, whatever. I can see it better now. I couldn't even see it. 70 minutes played, of course. Obviously, he won 1 penalty. He should have had 2.
Yeah.
Won 5 duels. Chance created 3. But he had 36 touches in 70 minutes. So he was involved heavily. And his recoveries were 6. So he doesn't just offer you that going forward. He also tracks back as well. Of course, predominantly going forward, he's predominantly up there, and he's, you know, but he's not. He's fine coming back as well. So I thought he was brilliant. So yeah, just a little bit of context for his performance. Up next, Dion Charles, who, look, like I said, he did work hard. Just lacked. You could tell he lacked very much. You know, you can expect lacked. He's just the same from what we've seen in the past from Charles, unfortunately. I saw a lot of heavy touches in there. Wasn't winning. I mean, to be fair, he was up against some tall kind of defenders, but he wasn't winning much in the air. And I just think he struggled to do the basics well, to be honest. And for me, he gets a 5. Yes, he had the bottle to step up for the penalty that we got, but obviously it didn't go in. And yeah, I just feel like it was another frustrating game for him overall, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd probably go around with a 5 for Dion. I mean, you know, obviously he wanted to step up to the penalty, and obviously unlucky not to get the goal. But I mean, I agree with what you said. He lacks a bit of, you know, in the air quality. Wasn't getting to them balls, and then, you know, not making some runs as well. And also, I think in the first half as well, he had a chance. I think near outside the box. You know, I was saying hit it first time, but, you know,
And he detracted, didn't he? He
Yeah,
detracted.
he did.
He didn't want to do it, so he went back. He
No.
went side. I think did he go back? Did he actually stop and go a little bit backwards a little bit and pass to the side? And it was like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, even if you sky over the top, just have a shot. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't take a chance in one of these moments you get. You know, so just try. And then I think there was that chance. You know, I think it was in the second half where he found himself in a little bit of space in the penalty area, and he took a heavy touch again. Why are you taking a touch, bro? Just shoot first time. It's just, I just don't, you know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, that's the final player. Obviously, we'll just kind of quickly summarize these substitutes. Castle, what do you, Leo Castledine?
I mean, I think from obviously what we've seen from him, I think he does look like a bright player. And I think, you know, going forward, he will bring that quality in the midfield and, you know, the creativeness that we need in the midfield, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought he came on, did a few good little things. Obviously, got a night, took his penalty nicely as well in the penalty shootout. And yeah, no, not going to judge him yet but I did like a few little bits that he did. And yeah, he looked lively when he came on and looked ready to start contributing. So yeah, I think it's just a case of seeing. The more we see of him, the better. The more we see of him, the better he'll get.
Yeah.
Basically. The more minutes he gets, yeah. And Taylor, for me, did I say Leo Castledine? Well, I think I'll give him a 6 anyway. Taylor, for me, gets a 6 as well. Look, Taylor was a nuisance like he always is, but not really given any chances to speak of, really, at centre forward, was he really? He wasn't really given any opportunities, which sometimes it can be down to the fact that he maybe wasn't making the runs that he needed to, and sometimes it can just be that he wasn't doing enough to involve himself in the game a bit more. I suppose it's a bit of both. So yeah, for me, Taylor did all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree there with a 6 for Taylor. Obviously, was trying to make them runs, obviously, but I mean, there were times where he probably should have made a run. But I just think Taylor will be good with the high pressing as well. Yeah. I thought him and May could have done that a bit more when they came on, to, you know, try make Leicester make some mistakes. But I mean, yeah, he played all right. But obviously unlucky to not score his penalty. But we move on.
Yeah, we know he can do more. I think that's the point we're getting at here, and we want to see more. So yeah, next Alfie May, who is just what you see is what you get with this guy. He's just anyway. I think I went first with Taylor. So yeah, Alfie May, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, you said what you see is what you get. I agree. You know, Alfie May. I think he was going to be a fan favourite. I just think when he came on, he did do some bits that were all right, you know, again, trying to make them runs. But again, I think the best of him will be when we are on the high press, you know, and then making teams struggle. And again, he did make a few runs, and then obviously these penalty, he knows how to score a penalty. But yeah, I think I'll probably give him about a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, obviously he did come on in the final 20 minutes like Taylor. And yeah, I think for me, he gets a 6 just because he was only on for. I know obviously he took his penalty well, but obviously he only played for 20 minutes in the game. 26 minutes if you want to be at injury time. The sun keeps getting in my eyes. Right. So, but yeah, May, just a class act, isn't he? And he's grew. I think there were a few kind of not sure, you know, when May came in, especially how it panned out last summer. But he's already making up for. We're already quickly forgetting about what happened. Like, you know, when you know what I mean. Because now he's delivering for us and he's looking very, very good. his movement's brilliant. Because his movement not only he gets himself into good area, but his movement not only does that, but it creates space for others. He's so clever.
Yeah.
Draws fouls, good with the ball. You know, if he gets a chance, you know he's scoring. You know he's scoring.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
that's the reality, and that's what you need. So yeah, unbelievable. What a player. He's gonna. I think for me, we're gonna see him get 20 plus goals this season easily.
Oh yeah.
Up next. Up next, Jay Sway. Oh, he only came up for 10 minutes. Sorry, no. So we can't really rate him, but we can say that he did very well and he's a really bright player. But I don't think we can say anything about that. And Sorensen the same. So
yeah. I mean, when Jay Sway did come on, he's got a bit of pace about him as well. Going down the left-hand side when he did look promising, and obviously Sorensen on the right near the end, trying to get the ball in for a late winner, but obviously unlucky not to. But I mean, I think they both played pretty well when they did come on.
Yeah, like I say, Sway just looks at home, doesn't he? In there, and he's so composed, calm as well. And I just think he looks such a good player that, I think might not be his time just yet, but I'm sure he will. Yeah. He will get his chance in the first team at some point soon. And then obviously we did have a few unused substitutions, which just looking at the list, our central midfield is going to be fresh as a daisy on Saturday with Herbie Kane and Ryan Ledson having a rest last night. So yes, that's good. And then who else have we got? Goodman will be ready to come back here, and Balker. Balker's there, but doesn't seem to favour Balker either, Lee Grant, from what I've seen, because he's been available. He should. A lot of people in the preview show were saying start Balker, and he didn't. So he mustn't fancy him that much. And to be fair, I mean, I don't really blame Grant for that, because yes, good player on his day, Balker, but always injured, and you need reliability in that team. So yes, right, let's have a look. So yes, we do play Sunderland away in the next round, as we've already said. What do you make of that draw? Because obviously it was before the match, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Sunderland away, obviously now in the Premier League, so I mean, probably a good test for us. See how we do play against them. I think the squad will probably be a bit more, not light as we were against Leicester. I think it'll be more heavily, because obviously we are playing a better opposition. But I think overall it'll be a good game, good test for us.
Yes, and of course, can we take down a Premier League opponent next? So of course, that would be good. Look, for me, just kind of closing thoughts really from me is that, look, we started the season very, very well. We know this. And it's kind of like, I'm trying hard not to get carried away. But the feeling that we've got this season is night and day compared to what we've seen last season. And the celebration at the end as well showed the real unity in this squad as well. We've seen it a couple of times. Even when we've scored goals, you can see the unity in this group. And for me, I genuinely believe we could do something really special this season. What do you think about that? Like, it just feels like it's easy to get carried away, isn't it? But we've got every right to do, haven't we, after what we've had to endure over these last couple of years as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the unity in the squad, and I think even going to the games, you can feel the buzz around the place. It's back. We haven't had that for a long time, and I just feel the overall majority of the feeling of the games and the squad, it's just a really, really positive.
And you're actually excited to go to games. You know what I mean? We're actually excited, and we know when we turn up at that stadium, we're going to have a group of players that will give everything, show pride, and give it their all, and we'll see some good football in there, and we'll see Grant changing it up when he needs to. And we actually didn't give Grant a rating, which I first said we was going to do. Lee Grant does deserve a rating, because he was once again outstanding. When we was up against it, when he needed to change it, he changed it. Bringing on, you know what I mean, Alfie May and Joe Taylor, being proactive when we went 2-1 down, not messing around. Let's change it. So for me, Lee Grant showed me and everybody else that he can adapt, he can react to situations, and he can make those substitutions that will change the game and get us get us back in the game. That's ultimately what happens. So I'm gonna give Lee Grant a 9. I don't like giving tens, but yeah, I think he deserves a 9 just because of what he did when we were up against it. Should I give him a little bit more? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see, when we were up against it with the goals down. He did show that he can change it up, and he's not afraid to. So, I do think then the 9 is an appropriate rating. It just shows that if our backs are up against the wall, later down the line, he's not afraid to change it, and I think that is what we do need when we are up against it. But yeah, a 9, I do agree.
Absolutely. I'm loving it. I didn't realise we've been on for so. I hate doing these long shows, guys, but we have had a lot to discuss this evening, and we are going to wrap up in a moment. Don't worry. But yeah, I was just really, really impressed against a very good Leicester side. We made changes ourselves as well, and we still performed very, very well. It shows the depth. I thought Feeney and Wallace were great back, and also. Hello? Oh, yeah. I could hear a lot of feedback there. But yeah, look, Gooch, Rowett, all of them, Ashley are just great. But look, I think one final point I want to make about Grant before you, if you want to say any closing thoughts. For me, Lee Grant has completely changed, the morale and belief within this club. And hats off to him for that. Absolutely full credit. Well, he deserves every credit he gets. The reality is, the players couldn't look happier. If you remember under Duff, the players didn't look like they were enjoying it at all. They looked very much like they were fed up with his rigid tactics and stubborn nature of him. And I just think he was one of the, for me. I don't speak to everybody, by the way, but for me, Duff, I never really warmed to Duff. There was just something about him. Yeah. He was just very, very arrogant, very cocky. I didn't like how he came across at times, and I just couldn't warm to him. So I'm not saying I speak for everybody, but maybe the players maybe sense that as well, because I just don't think you just can't enjoy your football when you're having a system like that you're not playing, you're not changing it when you need to. I don't think that players I don't think the environment was great in training for the lads either under Duff, and you could just sense that on a match day. It was I know he had that horrible framework to work under, as we know. But if I'm looking at him individually, you have to do better than what he showed. But yeah, so I see that difference. So look, Lee Grant has completely transformed this football club already. Can I just say already? And because he's had such a big say in the recruitment, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? He's brought in players that are winners, leaders, want to, really work out, but also improve as an individual, but also help the teams. They want to be successful ultimately, they're winners, like you said. So, yeah. Anyway, what are your closing thoughts? Because we are going to wrap up now.
Yeah. Obviously, the game as a whole, really impressive, especially in the second half. Took the penalties well. And, like you mentioned, Lee Grant, the way he's changed the football club already, it's just great to see. And hopefully we can just expect more good things about the club. But yeah, good individual performance, I think, as well, with some players. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we can see more positives.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the positive momentum continues, which is good. But look, thank you so much, Jack, for coming on.
No worries.
I'm sorry it's gone way over. I mean, I didn't expect to go this long, but we have, and hopefully you didn't mind that. I'm sure you would have said if you did. But it was great to have you on. Of course, you are welcome whenever you want to come on, of course. But look, I know obviously you do some of my graphics as well at times, and you do a good job at them as well. And obviously you've got, do a lot of graphics and your own channel as well. So yes, shout out your socials if you like as well.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram really is the main one. It's Jack's Graphic 17. Obviously, I post up any news that comes in, and obviously all the match day content.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at the most, really. So yeah.
Obviously, I actually forgot about when we go off. I'll put your socials in the description. Because actually it was because I didn't think, it was obviously a late kind of you coming on, so that's why I did it this morning, this schedule the show. So, but I've missed a few comments, so we will finish with these. But yes, I appreciate you coming on anyway. Let's have a look. Charlie says, will Anthony Evans reseal it or Bojan be sold by the end of the window? Well, first of all, two of those players are injured. So, no, reseal it will not, the sooner he goes, the better, because I'm just sick and tired of it now. I can't believe how much money we spent on it. Another failed signing from the previous regime of recruitment, or so-called recruitment. I think it was more of a lottery hat recruitment rather than actual thought about process. Anthony Evans, I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for, but he should be back soon. And Bojan, I don't know. I mean, look, Bojan's still fit as far as I know. I said hopefully a fit, club from Finland. Why is nobody wanting him back? That's where he came from. Why does nobody want him back there? Because I'm sure he'll do a good job for somebody. So I would try and sell Bojan.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think? Like, obviously, Evans and Reece are injured, so it doesn't really matter. But do you think we can sell Bojan before the window closes?
I'd hope so. Yeah, I mean, even if we can't get him out, possibly a loan. He did go out on loan end of last season, but I mean, I don't think it hasn't worked out for him here. So I think it's best if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, well, he ain't gonna be in that squad now.
No.
Yeah, unless we get a hell of a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
he's not going to be involved in the squad at all. Let alone he's not going to start. He's not even going to be on the bench either. So yeah, depends what he wants. Sure, he's been told as well that he's you know what I mean, can move on. Well, obviously more polite. Obviously, yeah, you're not going to have much football, so you can try and look somewhere else. Whatever. All right. So okay, then let's have a look. It's a shame about Miller. Mate, honestly, I've already had my little rant about Miller. For me, and you guys, you must follow me to keep going. But I'm big up to you all. I mean, I appreciate the question, the comments and contributions this evening. But yeah, look, I've already aired my rant on Miller. I think, look, he's a quality player. Starting to see very well again. And unfortunately, though, I've kind of lost my patience with Miller now. Obviously, I believe he's in his final year of his contract, and I wouldn't be renewing it. And I'll tell you why. Because we don't need a player that's going to be, you know what they said before he came here at Plymouth. You'll struggle to get 20 games out of this guy. He's no good to us. I'm sorry, but he's no good to us because 20 games is, it's just ridiculous. And he's picked up another injury. Yeah. So Miller, I've kind of lost my patience. I don't care how good you are, if you're always injured, it's not really any use. Reece Healy's a good footballer, he's a good striker, but he's never fit. That's the problem. Miller's another one. So another failed recruitment from the previous regime. But yeah, what did you make of this, Jack, before we go? Obviously, Miller, just so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, also when he is fit, he is a good player. But obviously, when he is injured, obviously he was injured for, you could probably say, half of last season. And obviously, we don't know how bad this injury is, but if he can get back, and if he's at his best, he's at his best. If he's not, he's not. But yeah, it's just a shame, really.
Yeah, it's not taking him long to get injured, though, has it? That's the reality.
No.
So it just doesn't bode well at all. Sorry. I love Miller, but I just can't defend it anymore. I've kept giving him a chance after chance for this season. Fresh kind of start for everybody. And he's got injured within the opening 2 games. Just ridiculous. But look, we are going to end it there. I'd like to say thank you for joining me, Jack. And obviously, guys, what are we going to be doing this week? So, oh, yes. I just don't know what day it is. Tomorrow night, we'll be back live and direct for the match preview for our game against Blackpool on Saturday, of course. Mike will be joining me tomorrow night as usual. And then, yes, obviously we'll play it by then. Obviously, you know what's coming then. Review, game week predictions into next week and things like that. So, yes, stay tuned for more. But look, have a good rest of the evening, whatever you get up to, as we do advance to the second round, where we play Sunderland away. A trip to the Stadium Live. It's not a bad stadium to go to, is it? I remember going there last time we went. But look, let's see what happens. But I'll see you all tomorrow for the preview as we get back to the league to try and stay at the top of that table. Anyway, take care. I'll see you all very, very soon. As always, up the town, Lee Grant's behind the army. Take care, everybody.
Bye.